New heritage derives directly from the fact that Africa needs to be confident again in itself, confident of the fact that we are the continent that was the crucible of civilization. We are the continent of the empires, and we can evolve our own solutions. Neo heritage is my thesis looking at what Africa is and was, being rooted in my heritage and global in my perspective, looking at the way Africa can contribute to the solutions that the world desperately needs at this time. So I say to people, in a world of 7.2 billion, how do we leave a continent of 1.4 billion out of the discourse? How do we leave 20%, a fifth of the world, out of the discourse? We're trying to solve the problems of HIV/AIDS, trying to solve the problems of COVID, trying to solve the problems of food insecurity, sustainability, the secular sustainability, climate change. We're trying to solve all world poverty, world hunger, and we're ignoring 20% of the world. What if the cure to cancer lies in the forest of the Delta of Nigeria? We cannot leave any stone unturned. Neo-heritage is my thesis about examining the heritage of Africa, particularly Nigeria, that I know and that I'm familiar with, to derive a contemporary African architecture of global relevance, leveraging on my knowledge of African traditional architecture with Nigeria specifically. When you look at the architecture of Africa, our people had their solutions. Their houses functioned. Their monuments functioned. They built great civilizations. They built empires. They had trade routes. They engaged other societies. The Portuguese came to Benin. They were able to trade together. They had envoys. Benin had envoys to the Portuguese court. We cross-fertilized ideas. It was clear that we cross-fertilized ideas, and that really should be the idea of the world being a global village. A cross-fertilization of ideas, not one side of the world listening in rapt attention while the other dictates solutions that may or may not fit to them. So my peculiar journey, I think the reason I see the world this way is because of my peculiar journey. I was exposed to the great buildings of Europe as a toddler, as a 3-year-old, because I traveled with my parents. I always kid that maybe as an only child, they had nobody to babysit me. So they had to take me along wherever they went. Well, that meant I would travel with them to France, to Germany, all over, wherever they went. And I was exposed to the world at an early age, globally, my perspective, from when my mind was just opening up. And I was rooted in my heritage because I would be back in Nigeria where we lived, confident in my skin, rooted in my heritage, grounded. And from there, I would sail forth to the world and always come back. So I was able to always compare what I saw all over with what was going on here and see how best the world works together, even from a young age. That's why I say I am global in my perspective, but rooted in my heritage. And I think I'm uniquely positioned to look at this thesis of deriving a contemporary African architecture that leverages and on the understanding of the heritage that has been given to us by our ancestors.